Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, in a story we brought you earlier this morning, want to highlight it for those of you who may be tuning in from the Kinston area. There is a public hearing that will be held at tonight's City Council meeting where residents will have the chance to discuss the city's proposed 4% reduction in the electric rate. City Council will then consider adopting the proposal during the meeting, which will start at 5:30 p.m. at City Hall. Now, discussions over a rate cut just came weeks after higher tax bills went out to residents back in early September. Residents voiced their frustrations over the recent increase in property taxes during last month's City Council meeting. The increase resulted from a county-wide property reevaluation, which led to a 35% increase in the city's property tax base. With an approved tax rate of 73 cents, it's still above the city's revenue-neutral rate of 60 cents. WITN spoke with Kinston Public Services Director Steve Miller last month, who said the city has worked hard to maintain low electric prices for its customers. The city has not seen a rate increase since 2009, according to Miller. About 27,000 people within Lenoir County would see the rate cut if the City Council approves the proposal. And now we want to turn our attention again to the ongoing threat of troops, National Guard deployment troops, to major American cities by President Trump. NBC's Peter Alexander has more from Washington.
With some federal agents and protesters clashing in Chicago and Portland, Oregon, President Trump now says he would consider invoking the Insurrection Act to send the military into those cities if the courts block his deployment of National Guard troops.
We have an Insurrection Act for a reason. I do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up.
That federal law that dates back to 1807 gives the president emergency powers to deploy the military to suppress what he deems as a rebellion or civil unrest. Illinois and its Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker is suing to block Trump's plan to send roughly 200 troops to Chicago, the governor calling it an unconstitutional invasion. But a federal judge has, at least for now, declined to stop that deployment.
What Donald Trump, I believe, is trying to incite it so they can bring more troops in, invoke the Insurrection Act, and militarize Chicago and other major cities.
The president has also attacked Portland as a burning hellhole that he claims has been overtaken by left-wing domestic terrorists.
Portland is on fire. Portland's been on fire for years.
Targeting the Democratic-led city a day after a federal judge, a Trump nominee, blocked him from sending National Guard troops there.
I think that's all insurrection. I really think that's really criminal insurrection.
Local authorities are forcefully pushing back, saying the chaos is confined to a single downtown city block.
In America, that we don't put the military on our streets unless it's extreme circumstances, like an invasion or rebellion. And those things, they just don't exist right now in Oregon.
Just last week, President Trump urged America's top generals to use some of those cities as training grounds for the U.S. military, and as a candidate flirted with invoking the Insurrection Act to suppress unrest.
And again, that was Peter Alexander reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast, where today we are keeping a very close eye on not only the tropics, but an incoming cold front that could lead to not only widespread rain, will lead to widespread rain showers on Wednesday, but could also put our weekend plans in jeopardy, as it will create windy and wet conditions along the coast, and those conditions could potentially spread a little bit further inland. But first, let's start with the tropics. Tropical storm Jerry, currently maximum sustained winds of 45 miles an hour, is moving west at 24 miles per hour. Pressure is at 1,006 millibars with gusts up to 60 miles an hour. And the track of this system very similar to that of Umberto. Expected to stay just off to the east of Bermuda, potentially becoming a Category 1 hurricane by Thursday morning. But this is a system, again, that should stay at least 600 miles off of our coast. Unfortunately, that is still close enough to create some large swells along our beaches, and that means even more beach erosion than what we've already seen so far this year. Currently, we've got cloud cover building back off to the west. That cloud cover will gradually work its way into the east throughout the day tomorrow. But for the rest of today, looking again at a few clouds out there. We have had a few light raindrops come down at times. A lot of those rain showers, though, continue to dry up. Still seeing a few around Edgecombe and Pitt counties. Those of you watching around Tarboro have probably seen a few spot showers come down at times. Not a ton of rain, but certainly enough to let you know that, okay, we've got more on the way, and that's exactly what we are looking at coming up for tomorrow. More rain showers on the way. Current air temperatures generally in the upper 70s to mid 80s, anywhere between around 78 to about 84 degrees. Looks like Kinston and Washington. Well, as I say that, I noticed Stumpy Point sitting at 85 degrees, whereas Kinston and Washington both 84 degrees. Regardless, again, most of us are feeling fairly comfortable, even though the southerly wind has certainly brought back more humidity to eastern North Carolina. Right now, we've got more of a 5 to 10 mile per hour breeze. Over the next few days, those wind speeds are likely going to increase as that frontal boundary approaches. Anticipate more of a west-southwesterly wind by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon. And from there, well, that cold front worked its way overhead, bringing rain showers and potentially a few scattered thunderstorms to the area. But it's this aspect of the forecast here where the cold front moves off the coast, and then it will be met by an area of low pressure that's going to try to develop in the Bahamas. And those two are essentially going to marry up and really started impacting eastern North Carolina again for that cold front, but really for the first time for that low pressure zone. And now the strongest winds and heaviest rain will likely be on the eastern side of Highway 17, but these strong winds again could range between around 30 to 40 miles an hour. Those are your gusts. Sustained winds certainly between 20 to 30 miles an hour across Highway 17 and then east of 17. As you get closer to I-95, your winds will weaken, but I'd still anticipate a 15 to 25 mile an hour sustained wind between I-95 and Highway 17, with the higher range closer again towards 17. The further east you go over the weekend, the more wind and the more rain and the more clouds you are going to see. It is looking again like it's going to be wet and windy throughout Saturday and Sunday. Could actually extend into Monday as well. Right now, looks like most of the action again is going to be focused over that 2-day stretch, but depending on the exit of that low pressure system, Monday could find itself again a little bit wet, windy, and stormy to go along with what we'll see on Saturday and Sunday. So that's going to be again an important part of the forecast we want to draw your attention to. But tomorrow again, rain showers arrive in the afternoon and evening and could linger into the early hours of your Thursday morning along the coast. Everything again should go fairly quiet there for your Thursday afternoon to Thursday evening, similar for Friday. But cloud cover will build and those winds will start to pick up as we head through Friday and into Saturday. Well, that's all we have time for today's 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day.